The atmosphere at Anfield in recent weeks has been nothing short of an emotional rollercoaster. Under the guidance of Arne Slot, Liverpool have endured a sequence of highs and lows that has tested the nerves of every supporter and, of course, provided plenty of ammunition for the ever-watchful critics. After opening the Premier League season with 5 straight wins, the Reds looked unstoppable, confident, cohesive and full of momentum. But football, as always, loves a twist. It took just 4 consecutive defeats for sections of the English media to begin questioning everything, from Slot's management to the roles of his key players. And, as if that wasn't enough, an outrageously out-of-line comment ended up making headlines and was indirectly, yet powerfully answered by none other than Virgil van Dijk, the captain and soul of the team. During this turbulent spell, Liverpool played matches that seemed to mirror the emotional chaos within the squad. In some games, such as against Crystal Palace and Brentford, the performances fell well below expectations. But in others, like those against Chelsea and Manchester United, the team showed intensity, control, and deserved much better results. Still, the poor run of form raised questions, and the clash with Aston Villa became a real turning point. The pressure was immense, not only on the players, but on Slot himself, who had been criticised for resting several starters in the League Cup elimination against Palace. It was in this tense atmosphere that one of the most controversial statements in early season English football emerged. Journalist Jeremy Cross, known for his sharp-tongued columns in the Daily Star, the Mirror and Liverpool Echo, published an article that felt more like a call to chaos than genuine sports analysis. The headline read, "Arne Slot must swallow his pride. It's time for Liverpool to let go of Virgil van Dijk." Yes, you read that right. One of the greatest defenders of the modern era, the club captain and a symbol of leadership at Anfield, should, according to the journalist, be discarded. Cross's piece, which even included basic errors, such as calling Brentford Branford, was widely slammed for its superficiality and complete lack of technical grounding. After all, Van Dijk, even if not flawless in every match, remained the team's most consistent defender and a crucial figure for maintaining emotional balance. Slot, experienced enough to recognise his captain's worth, completely ignored the suggestion and started the Dutchman against Aston Villa. And the result? Van Dijk delivered a true masterclass in leadership and left the pitch as one of the best performers, proving that sometimes silence is the strongest response. Journalist Andy Dunn, also from the Mirror, didn't hold back his praise. Virgil van Dijk was back to his commanding best, back to marshalling a defence that kept its first clean sheet in 7 weeks, Dunn wrote, highlighting the captain's flawless display. And he wasn't the only standout. Mohamed Salah, the eternal Egyptian icon, netted his 250th goal for Liverpool, an extraordinary milestone that cements his place among the greatest legends in the club's history. The victory, sealed by a second-half strike from Ryan Gravenberch, carried a sense of relief and redemption, not just for the fans, but for everyone who had doubted Slot's men. That match against Aston Villa represented far more than just 3 points. It was a statement of character, proof that the squad still believes in the project and trusts the manager. The media criticism, often exaggerated, had echoed through unfair analyses that tried to paint minor individual mistakes as signs of collective decline. But in reality, the numbers tell a different story. Van Dijk, for example, completed 77 passes during the game, more than any other player on the pitch, 8 of them in the final third, showing how vital he still is, not only in defence, but also in building attacks.
In terms of overall performance, the data doesn't lie. According to FotMob, Van Dijk averages 7.29 per match, ranking as Liverpool's 4th best player this season. Only Gravenberch, Gakpo and Szoboszlai are ahead, all midfielders or attackers, which makes his record even more impressive. When compared with all centre-backs in the Premier League, Van Dijk sits in the top 5, behind only Gabriel Magalhaes, Marc Guehi, William Saliba and Maxence Lacroix. And it's worth noting Liverpool have conceded 14 goals in 10 matches, hardly alarming, and certainly not evidence of a defensive crisis. Slot's conduct amid all this turbulence also deserves praise. He has displayed maturity, composure, and conviction, rare qualities for a manager still finding his footing at such a demanding club. By refusing to bow to media pressure and by standing by his players, Slot has shown that he intends to build a team based on identity, trust, and stability, not fleeting headlines. That loyalty to his principles has been the hallmark of his work since arriving at Anfield, and it is slowly beginning to bear visible fruit. However, not everything is smooth sailing in the Red camp. Some players, particularly the new signings, are still going through difficult adaptation periods. The case of Florian Wirtz, for instance, has drawn attention. The young German, signed for a staggering £116 million, has often been substituted and seems yet to find his ideal role in Slot's tactical setup. Part of the fanbase argues that the midfielder should be given more minutes, while others believe he still needs to adapt to the pace and physicality of English football. The question remains, is Wirtz being played in the right position? This uncertainty around Wirtz reflects a broader challenge that Slot must still resolve, balancing the squad without sacrificing competitiveness. The Dutchman seems aware of this and has opted for careful rotation, trying to avoid overloading experienced players while giving younger ones a chance to develop. Even so, the pressure for results remains relentless, and every decision he makes is scrutinized in microscopic detail by fans and journalists alike. Meanwhile, Liverpool are fighting to rediscover their consistency, and the win over Aston Villa may well mark a turning point. The team showed fight, unity, and above all, resilience. Van Dijk has re-emerged as the pillar of calm and confidence. Salah continues to prove himself an unstoppable goalscorer, and Slot is gradually reaffirming his quiet authority. The incident with Jeremy Cross, as absurd as it was, served as a reminder that football is fertile ground for reckless opinions, but also for on-pitch answers, which in the end are the only ones that matter. Ultimately, perhaps the greatest lesson from this turbulent phase is that Liverpool remain above all else a club driven by soul, passion, and character. And as long as players like Van Dijk and Salah continue to wear that shirt with such pride and commitment, it will be hard for any critic to dismantle the essence that makes Liverpool who they are, a team that may fall, but always rises stronger. Arne Slot seems to understand that better than anyone. And that's precisely why, even amid the harshest criticism, he remains steady and unshaken, leading a project that still promises many thrilling twists in the season ahead.